One of many rides considered part of the 44 trails because its upper trailhead intersects with the 44 road, Dog River is an old favorite on the east side of Mount Hood. The bottom of Dog River starts at this trailhead at 2,100 feet elevation. The top trailhead is at 4,200 feet. There are two different schools of thought on how to handle Dog River. You can shuttle it or you can pedal it. Shuttling it will net you about 300 feet of climbing and somewhere around 2,500 feet or so of descent. The shuttle roads are all paved, and it takes around an hour to complete the whole shuttle from driving to the top to reaching to the bottom. This means if you're shuttling and you've got 3 vehicles, you can do it twice. The other way to ride it is to climb from the lower trailhead all the way to the top. It's a brutal climb, and there are bikers flying down at you from the top, but it's doable. It's just hard to make the case for it if shuttling is one of your options. Start your shuttle by parking at the bottom parking area, the one with the porta potty. Make sure you have a Northwest Forest Pass displayed prominently in your windshield. Go left on Highway 30 and proceed for 7.2 miles until you see the big sign directing you to Dufur and Camp Baldwin. That's Forest Service Road 44. If you get to Little John Snow Park, you've gone too far, turn around. Proceed up 44 for another 3.7 miles until you see a little sign hiding in the bushes directing you to the trailhead. Don't stop at the signpost marked 6:30 at what looks like the trailhead. It hasn't been 3.7 miles yet. The sign for the actual trailhead is too small, too late. So, now that you've driven past the trailhead, turn around and park there. You'll notice the trailhead seems rather small, especially considering how popular this trail is as a shuttle route. Seriously, there's room for like maybe 7 cars here. Anyway, ride the trail to the left of the entrance, the one with the big sign that points down the hill. The top of the trail starts out with a screaming fast, steep descent that loses about 500 feet in 1 mile. The surface is mostly smooth east side type dust with some pretty significant brake bumps in it. If there's been a race on the trail recently, those brake bumps should be bad enough that you'll think you forgot to unlock your suspension, but it's really just because the trail is that fast and that steep. After that first 500-foot descent comes a very gradual mile of climbing where you'll gain about 300 feet. There are no technical features on this climb. Stay to the right at all trail intersections. As far as climbs go, this is as easy as it gets. When you're done climbing, you'll come to this point. Now it's all downhill. At this point, the trail turns into the perfect side hill, descending through a transitional forest of hemlock and ponderosa with moderate to heavy underbrush. The tread, especially if there's moisture on it, is about as close to ideal as you can possibly expect. There are no built berms or bike-specific features on this ride, so you'll have to be a real mountain biker and ride with some awareness and coordination. It does get enough traffic that all the inside turns have natural berms on them. Overall, the trail looks well maintained and appears to get buffed out fairly regularly. In about 1/2 of a mile, you'll intersect with an old Forest Service road. You'll want to proceed left down the hill here. Keep an eye out for other mountain bikers coming up the hill. Keep going down the hill. In about a 1/4 mile, it'll turn back into single track. After about another 1/2 mile or so of single track, you'll come to a sharp left-hander with this feature. It would behoove you to walk this feature first if you think you're going to try to clear it on the bike. There's a sharp right-hand turn at the bottom. Really, you should just swallow your pride and walk the bike down this. Some of you won't, because caution isn't in your vocabulary, but consider yourself warned. Anyhow, enjoy this, because it's the only truly technical feature on this entire trail, unless of course you consider switchbacks technical. These are technical switchbacks. We're talking about 1 to 2 foot radius turns here. They're practically stairs. This really is a hardtail trail. There's nothing about the tread that you can't handle with a hardtail and a 120mm fork. Overall, the dirt is plenty smooth, but these switchbacks. This is real mountain biking here. Whatever bike you're riding, you'll wish you had one with a steeper head angle and shorter chainstays, because most of the challenge on this trail is maneuvering. If anyone ever decides to make a mid-fat track bike, this will be the trail for that bike. Keep your eyes out front, because these switchbacks sneak up on you, and there's nothing to keep you from going over the edge, and this trail is all side cut until very near the bottom. The trail grows decidedly more riparian as you're nearing the lower trailhead. You'll actually ride across a couple of springs and cross some bridges here at the bottom. Before you know it, you'll come to this icky creek crossing. There'll be a gate on the other side, and you're done with the ride. Hopefully you brought a 3rd car, because you'll definitely want to shuttle this one a 2nd time. If you opted out of the chauffeur's service and decided to ride this one as an out and back, just know that this trail is very, very steep in places, and it's a long and relentless climb. It's not messing around. You'll earn your turns. You'll earn all the turns. Overall, this trail looks, feels, and smells east side. That's what's so interesting about the 44 trails. It just smells like you're in Bend now, but it still looks kind of like western side of the mountains. It's probably all the ponderosa pine. The only thing missing is yellow jackets and the smell of manzanita shrubs. It's not quite as dry as Central Oregon, but it's definitely on the dividing line, and the soil is definitely more Central Oregon than Western. I won't go so far as to call the tread featureless. This is a far cry from Phil's trail, but it is very different from the terrain on the other side of the high Cascades. It's just not as aggressive. You can kind of feel the mountains starting to calm down here, almost like they're transitioning into retirement before flattening out onto the Columbia Plateau. But it's a fun trail. It's got that Hood River vibe to it. You can shuttle it twice, go eat lunch in Hood River, and then go shuttle Post Canyon. Now, get out there and go ride your bike.